When your entire worldview is based on falsehoods and victimization that does not actually exist or occur in any significant frequency, you will need to concoct stories and fake incidences in a thinly veiled, dishonest, and deceitful attempt to garner support for supposed injustices that, although you might be convinced exist, do not really exist. They are delusions of persecution. Jussie Smollett's story is a symptom. It is exactly what you can expect to happen when there is a relentless victimhood narrative running in the heads of people, yet the reality, what actually occurs in the real world, is in direct contrast with this insatiable perception of persecution. If I am a member of a movement that strenuously screams and screeches about injustice, yet I find myself in a place where I am not being constantly harassed for the reasons I claim to be, well then I will need to make it look as if that is reality. I will need to make credible all that screaming I've been doing. I will need to fabricate unbearable conditions so I can manufacture outrage over transgressions that never happened. Jussie Smollett and the rest of the people within social justice movements are stunted. They are like children that never grew out of that stage of adolescence in which if you're hurt or sick or something terrible happens within your life, you get sympathy. And as children sometimes do, they may actually think that whatever negative situation has befallen them, be it sickness or injury, it might just be worth it. In fact, it just might be so worth it that if I'm not sick or injured, I should fake it, because look at all the attention I'm getting, look at all the sympathy I'm receiving, look at all the eyes that once gazed away from me but are now fixated directly on me, all with a very concerned look over my well-being. That is what children do. That's what children can thrive on. But then people should grow up. People should become adults and become concerned with what their actual situation is and less concerned about how they can extract sympathy out of those around them. Adults generally don't try and twist every situation in a way so they can always be perceived as just getting the brunt of it all and say, look how persecuted I am, feel sorry for me, listen to me. Jussie Smollett and those like him are children. They are children that constantly scream every day about the monster under their bed, but when you look, there's almost never anything there. Now, I said there is almost never anything there, because sometimes there is something there. Sometimes racism does occur. Sometimes an idiot might do something negative that is racially motivated. Now, in a country of 325 million people, this is exceptionally rare, but it has and does happen. But it should be pointed out that Jussie Smollett and those like him are the worst possible thing to happen to anyone who actually is a legitimate victim. Someone who has had something terrible done to them will now likely not be taken seriously, in much the same way when children swear they saw that monster under their bed for the 12th time, you no longer care to even check. Those like Jussie Smollett have been crying about a monster that is almost never there. So if it ever does make its very rare appearance, people won't be so willing to assume it's there and might not even care enough to check, because those people who never engaged in a racist action in their life are tired of constantly taking it on the chin for crimes they never committed by people they never met. So ironically, by constantly bellowing out empty screams about fake injustice, Jussie Smollett and the SJWs have hurt the ones that they think they are protecting. And those real victims, they should be infuriated by Jussie Smollett and the rest of the people who engage in an endless chorus about racism, long well after that song is played out. And like I said, those who truly were victims of some horrible hate crime, they should be infuriated, because it's little tiny children like Jussie Smollett who have ruined their chances of ever actually getting justice when something real actually happens. But that's all for now. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you.